Hello my friends, my name is Rich and welcome to Greatest Rock and Metal. On Greatest Rock and Metal I talk about what are for me the greatest bands, albums, gigs of all time, based on listening to thousands of albums and going to hundreds of gigs over many years. If you enjoy what you see, please press the red button to subscribe. It's free, it's easy to do, and it will only take a few seconds. Thank you very much. Today is a special episode, and this episode is going to be featuring a new release of an old release. The band is Kiss and the album is Killers. Now, this is an important album in my history. It was released in June 1982 and it was released in Europe and Japan and Australia predominantly, was not released surprisingly in the United States of America. And we'll talk more about that a little bit later. What I want to do first, because I'm bursting with excitement, is I want to open the newly arrived copy of Kiss Killers that has been released in Germany. Now this is a very exciting release, and it follows on from the re-release of a couple of Kiss albums that were done in the German market. Best of solo albums that was released I think a couple of years ago now, and then closely followed by a re-release of Double Platinum. And this was done as a splatter vinyl, and this as a silver vinyl. This one is, hopefully, a pink vinyl release. And what's interesting about this as well is that it's also the first of the vinyl releases that Kiss has done that has apparently been mastered at 45 RPM. So, let's, with no further ado, let's take a look at what I've got. Now, I've never done this live on camera before, so hopefully it turns out okay. So, let's open it up. Now, it's an interesting story of how I've actually come about this. Where I live, the record company Universal does not deliver to my country. But it just so happens that one of my neighbors is German. And his son still lives in Germany. So I asked if I could order it, have it sent to his son, and then his son would send it on to me. And I must be honest, it's been a nerve-wracking few weeks because it arrived at his son's house on the day of release. But it's only just got to me today, and I was tracking it for a long time and it kind of just disappeared off the radar. It said it left Germany and then it's been in the ether for a couple of weeks. And I was thinking, oh no, it's a goner. But it looks like it is here in all its glory. Now, there was a bundle version available of not just the album, but also this, a single Down on Your Knees and Nowhere to Run single. And there it is, sealed nicely there, beautiful condition, looks fantastic. It features what I call the Elder artwork, and I'll talk more about the Elder artwork later. So that's the single. Wait. Easy does it. And then inside we have the album. And I am happy to say, phew, that too is in excellent condition. Now I was a little bit worried because there's been Kiss fans who have posted a few sob stories of how theirs have arrived. And I always feel very sorry for all my fellow fans when they get limited edition items like this that are not going to be able to replace by the record company, and they're damaged. Very, very sad. And I'm very happy to report that mine is in excellent condition. So there you have it, beautifully presented. It's got like a shiny cover on it, and I don't just mean the plastic. There's a shiny element to it, which we'll probably see more when I take the plaster off. Each copy is numbered. There's a release of 4,000, limited to 4,000. This is a number 3858, so very close to the 4,000 mark. I believe, I'm led to believe by fellow KISS fans, that those with the bundle are numbered between 2,000 and 4,000, and those without the bundle are 2,000 and below. Don't know how true that is, but I don't care, to be honest. I'm not really into this numbering thing, not important to me. So, and then you have this hype sticker there, which reads, the hottest half-speed master vinyl in the world. It's the Japan remaster from last year, and again I'll talk more about that later. You'll see here, this is the Japanese CD version that was released a few months ago. And it says pink transparent vinyl, strictly limited. Okay, let's open it up. Now, I will probably cut the video here because it will be very boring trying to watch me open this up. Okay, so I'm very glad I stopped the video for that, because the way I like to store my vinyl, I'm a user. I buy my vinyl to play. I'm not a collector. I don't have multiple copies of things. I just get one copy and I enjoy it. But I do try and keep things in very nice condition, hopefully for my son to enjoy in the future. And so I always like to keep the plastic so it could be put back on if need be, but I don't. I generally just I only keep the plastic if it's got a hype sticker on, and then I'll fold it up and I'll stick it inside the album. So, like I mentioned before, this is a real shiny piece of work. Beautiful. It feels nice. It's got almost a 3D effect to it, lenticular effect. It isn't, but it kind of has that feel to it. Gatefold, because it's a double album, so you open it up and inside there you have all the lyrics. I think I say that, I didn't look myself. Yes, you have all the lyrics. And then, as I mentioned before, double album. Let's pull this one out. I'll just pull one of them out, and nice polyline sleeved, and look at that. Pink transparent vinyl, beautiful label there, featuring the classic Elder photo shoot, and then Casablanca label there on that one. Fantastic, fantastic. Slip that back in. Now, there's a couple of other goodies inside here. In fact, let's get the other one out as well. Same again. Beautiful label there, and the Casablanca label again. Okay, and then there should be a couple of other goodies inside here, I believe. Yes, there is. Slip that out there. Now, these are a couple of replicas, so to speak, of some promotional items that were included in the Japanese release you'll see somewhere here, over there, the original Japanese vinyl release. We'll look at that a little bit later. And it included a sticker, and here is a sticker. And it also included this colourful booklet. And I've got the original, I don't have the original sticker from Japan, but I have the original booklet from Japan, and this really is an immaculate reproduction. So you'll see there, and there, beautiful. And the only thing, for those of you who don't already know, or not that into Kiss, or don't really know much about it, is the only change to all of this really is the logo. In Germany, they don't have the traditional, you can see on here, the SS logo. Because in Germany it was felt that the SS logo was felt to be too close to the SS of the Nazi regime. So in Germany they changed the logo so it doesn't look as much like that. So across all of this, yeah, the sticker and the album, wherever the word band name Kiss appears, in Germany the logo is changed. And it was the same for these here, as you will see. Other than that, beautiful, perfect reproduction of the original. And just a quick look at the single. All that's inside for the single is just the single itself. This just pressed in normal black vinyl. Whew! I cannot describe to you how excited and pleased I am to have this in my collection. I have been very, very worried these past few weeks about whether or not I was going to receive it, and then when I did receive it, what kind of condition it was going to be in. And thank Buddha, everything is okay. So I need to take a little bit of a break, but I've not finished talking about this release yet, or Kiss Killers in general. So while I take a little bit of a break, let's have a look at rock albums by the sea. Okay, so at the beginning of this video I talked about how Killers was an important part in my history. So how so? Well, my introduction to Kiss came all the way back in 1979, and it was this movie, Kiss in Attack of the Phantoms. This was my introduction to Kiss. This is a replica of the movie poster in the UK cinema, which is where I first was introduced to Kiss. I'd seen an advert for this movie on the TV. I thought, what's that? That looks cool. Remember, I'm very young here, and me and my mate Gary, we went along to the cinema to see this movie, and that was our introduction to Kiss. So I had to find out more about this band. So I went out with my meager pocket money from my paper round and bought Double Platinum. It was one of my earlier purchases. This album here, although not the original one I had. And some of the first releases that I was exposed to. Because now I'm a Kiss fan in the early 80s. Unmasked was one of my first purchases, because that was released at the time that I was into Kiss, and I couldn't afford to buy all the back catalogue or anything like that. In fact, it was very hard in those days to even find out what the back catalogue was without going through to record stores and just thumbing through the vinyl. And even then you weren't sure if everything that Kiss had released was there, so I didn't really know what they had. But I was a frequent visitor to the local record store, and I made it known, anything by Kiss, new by Kiss, can you let me know? So Unmasked was one of my earlier purchases in 1980. And then one of my real exciting ones, and still to this day very exciting for me, the Elder. This is the Japanese version of the Elder, which, as you can see, does not feature the original album Elder artwork. That is the original Elder album cover, but the Japanese market's like, well, where's Kiss? How do we know that's Kiss? So they wanted their own front cover, so they stuck an insert in there, which features, as I keep referring to before, the legendary Elder photo shoot. Now, why is this so legendary? Well, the image that Kiss had on this was so different to the image they previously had. Now there was short hair appearing, there was Paul Stanley's disco headband, and it was a very different look and costumes to what they had before. And of course the Elder, a very different sounding album, but the Elder we'll talk about another time. And then the third release that I got as they were being released, remember Double Platinum was already released at that date, so I'm talking about the releases that I got as they were being released, was Kiss Killers. And this was a great thing for me, because there was a selection of older tracks, some of which I'd obviously heard on Double Platinum, but I also loved these new tracks. I thought there was 4 new tracks included on Kiss Killers, and I thought they were brilliant. And I've since found out, of course, that the record company, they had a new record company at this time, Phonogram, a Dutch company, and it was them who'd said to Kiss, look, we need you to get back to the rock, return to rock and metal, and make us harder edge songs, 4 harder edge songs for this new compilation, so that we can introduce Europe to you in that way, because it was mainly for the European market, although, as I said earlier, also introduced, released in Japan and Australia. And those harder edge songs, to me, I thought they were brilliant, all 4 of them, and I'll talk about those 4 in a few minutes. The other interesting thing about Killers, and let's have a look at let me just grab the original Japanese version here. Mr. Ace Frehley. Now, this was released in June 1982. Ace Frehley left the band in 1981. And the guitar work for the 4 new tracks was done by a guy called Bob Kulick, who had also done ghost guitar work for Kiss previously on the studio side of the Alive 2 record, and he'd also appeared as guitarist on Paul Stanley's 1978 solo album, Kiss solo album. So Bob was known to the band, and he always did a great job, and he'd done a great job here as well in replacing Ace. At this time, Kiss just didn't want to announce that Ace was no longer in the band. Another thing to say about Kiss Killers is that we've got some tracks on here that are not the original versions. We've got edited versions of Shout It Out Loud was edited, Detroit Rock City, I Was Made for Loving You, and God of Thunder. They were all edited versions, and they're fine. Yeah, they're fine. They're more your single type versions. So, for example, on Detroit Rock City, they took away all the preamble of this guy getting in his guitar and getting in his car, driving his car, blah blah blah. Those of you who know Detroit Rock City know what I'm talking about, or trying to talk about. And the other interesting thing is that on the Japanese version, the track listing was slightly different to that of the European version. It added the track Shandy, and it added the track Escape from the Island, which was from the Elder, but not from the Japanese version of the Elder, because it was left off that for some reason. Now, when we looked at the reissue of Kiss Killers earlier, I said that it had been based on this Japanese edition. Inside the Japanese edition, you've got a typical Japanese and English lyric sheet. You get that a lot in the Japanese releases, and this is the original booklet with obviously the normal Kiss logo on it, and like you saw before, yeah, the reproduced one is absolutely perfect reproduction of this original one. Great photos of this booklet, great photos. So there you go. That's a little bit of history of Kiss Killers. Now, I said I was going to talk about the Australian release was also a slightly different track listing. The Australian release included Shandy and Talk to Me, two different tracks than what was on the European release. The reason for that, they're from the Unmasked album, and the Unmasked album had been huge for Kiss in Australia, so they stuck a couple of the big hit singles on there as well. Alright, so back to the 4 new studio tracks. I just want to give my take on those 4 new studio tracks as how I feel about them. Now, they were all written by Paul Stanley, and those of you who know Kiss is that the vast majority of the time the person or the main songwriter will also be the main vocalist. So in this case, Paul Stanley also is the main vocalist for all 4 of these songs. The first new one, I'm a Legend Tonight. Now, that's the song that kicked off the album, and not as hard-hitting as one would have hoped, especially when you think of what came later. Their later albums after this one, Creatures of the Night, Lick It Up, Animalize, Asylum. The opening tracks on those 4 albums are brutal heavy metal songs, yeah? Tracks like Creatures of the Night and Exciter. This one kind of limps in a bit. It's still a great song, don't get me wrong, I really do like it. But it's not as in-your-face metal as maybe the record company or I, in hindsight, would have hoped it would be. Then we have Down on Your Knees, the track that was chosen to be the single that was in this new release bundle, and the reason why this was actually released as a single in Germany at the time. Now, this track I really, really love, and interestingly, this was co-written by Bryan Adams, him of In the Summer of '69, whoa yeah, that one. And what was the other big hits he's had? Oh my god, it's escaping me at the moment, but hey, forget it, we're here to talk about Kiss. Interestingly as well, I just mentioned on the next album, Bryan Adams co-wrote again. He co-wrote the track War Machine with Gene Simmons on Creatures of the Night. So there you go, a bit of Bryan Adams trivia for you. So yeah, Down on Your Knees, great song. This one really does rock, got a great guitar solo in it. In fact, it's got great guitar work from Bob Kulick throughout on this one. Really strong track. Then, opening up side 2 of the album, we've got Nowhere to Run. This is probably the best song of the 4 in my opinion. It's and probably should have been the opener on side 1. It's a really strong song. It's reminiscent to me of that Paul Stanley '78 solo album, and could have slotted in there without any shadow of a doubt. And really good song. And then the next track, Partners in Crime. Another song, I like all 4 of them. Another strong song. The only thing I say about Partners in Crime even though Paul wrote it, I think it would have been good if Gene could have sung this one. It would have added a little bit of variety to the newer songs by getting Gene's vocals on there. I think it's the kind of song that would have suited Gene, and or Down on Your Knees, that would have suited Gene as well. But the thing about Partners in Crime, I think it's got a real great dirty riff, which I always associate Gene's songs with having. It's got great guitar work, and yeah, I think this would have been a good Gene song. It would have sounded very different to the way Paul delivers it, and I think that would have made a great bit of variety for the album. So there you have it. That's Kiss Killers. Another thing I just wanted to mention, that this release, this new release down here, as I said at the beginning, was based around the Japanese version, and also based around this beautiful CD that was released last year in Japan. We'll just take a quick look at this. It's what they call an MQA CD. Now, I don't know about anything about the MQA format. It's similar, I would guess, to the SACDs or SAC-Ds or whatever you want to call them, that were all the rage in the 90s. It just gives a higher quality, but I don't have an MQA system. Mine's just a normal CD system, and this plays on just a normal CD on a normal CD system. So obviously you've got the CD. Now, what's really clever about this release is, first and foremost, it's got a reproduction, kind of like a vinyl sleeve to it, with your traditional Japanese obi. There's some information about MQA, forget that. Then we've got a reproduction, English and Japanese lyric sheets and credits. And then beautifully we have a mini sticker and this mini booklet. Again, I won't go through that again, you've seen it enough times. Now, this great book here is the Bible of Kiss in Japan. You will see if we open it up. It shows some of the promo material that was released in Japan at the time for Kiss Killers, and you've got the booklet thing, and a version of the sticker here. There was also a plastic bag to carry your album home in, which is a very, very rare find indeed, and even if you do find it, it's going to cost you a lot of money. Not something I'm likely to see in my collection. And there's a few other promo posters and things that appeared at that time for Kiss Killers in Japan. So there you have it. Kiss Killers. Great new release. Kiss fans out there who are into vinyl, the word on the streets, they're really, really loving this release. From what I've seen of it already today, it looks fantastic. And also in my break, I had a listen to side one, and it sounds fantastic too. And that's what it's all about, because after all, it is about the music. Despite all the great stuff that comes along with it when you're a Kiss fan, it still is about the music. Thank you very much for watching. Please press the red button to subscribe to the channel to see future episodes, and certainly future episodes about Kiss. And until next time, remember, as always, we rock!